It's time for Top That Trade. Bill Flynn, a Fox Business Network news contributor, and traveling man, Alan Knuckman, the chief market strategist at bullseyeoption.com, ready to go. Round number one, guys, double-digit Dow stocks. The Dow has surged. Only 5 of the 30 stocks are below $100. What's your bargain buy?
We recently took profits in Cisco, 110% profits, and in Coca-Cola, 108% profits. So those are off the list. Those have already had a bounce off the bottom. I like how Nike is setting itself up like Disney did a couple of years ago when everyone was disappointed. But my Dow stock is actually Dow, D-O-W. It's not in the Dow, but Dow Chemical, it's down about 35% from last March, and it's made a nice bottom base. And I think that has the best risk reward. And that's what we're talking about, is risk reward on these cheaper stocks.
You know, I like Cisco's system. Cisco's been beat up. It was the darling stock that was going to make everybody rich. Then nobody loved it anymore. But as artificial intelligence comes on, this stock is going to come back in a big way. They're going to start to compete. That means, you know, if you can't afford NVIDIA, you may want to pick up a few shares of Cisco.
Round two, copper futures or FCX stock? What's the better buy, actual copper or copper mining stock? Freeport-McMoRan.
Well, Freeport-McMoRan had an impressive bottom, you know, especially after President Trump talked about sanctions on copper. And one of the things that he was suggesting that the United States almost has to build an emergency copper reserve. Because, you know, copper day to day, you know, it goes up and down. But if you look at the next 10 to 25 years, we're in a structural shortage, right? With the emergence of data centers and everything else. So, you know, I don't think you can go wrong either way. If you buy the actual copper, get ready for some volatility. Yep. But if you can ride that out and you have deep pockets, it could double in price in the next 5 to 10 years. You know, same thing with Freeport. We're at a level where it could double, and you might be able to sleep better a little bit at night if you've got the stock.
Well, I'm going to sleep better with options on it. I brought options on copper itself or options on FCX. I like FCX from a risk reward standpoint because it hasn't really bounced that far off the bottom, whereas copper's kind of at the midpoint of where it's been for the year. So I'm looking at a June 35 call, which is below this recent low that we saw in FCX. So I like the setup. I like the fundamentals. I like the risk reward. So it's just a matter of, I could pick exactly, if it was going to go straight up for here, I would buy the copper futures, but it's not that easy.
Round three, feeling sentimental. What do you pros watch the most to gauge market sentiment?
Price. Price is the arbiter. It knows a lot more than I do, and even more than Phil does, if you believe that. You know, he's been doing this for a little bit longer than I, like a week longer than I have. So, you know, you've got to look at the price. But for me, I focus right now on interest rates and the dollar and how they react to what the stock market does. And I think that the 10-year note yield coming back down to the 4.25 is pretty significant, a very positive sign that the markets are going to accept lower rates, and that could be the catalyst for the future.
Alan is absolutely right. Price is the arbiter, but it's how you measure price, right? Sometimes people will look at stochastics or moving average. Some people will look at volume up, volume down. But, you know, I found a combination of looking at moving averages, but keeping an eye on the daily charts. Look at those Bollinger Bands. So often, you know, the market will look horrible, but then you'll see you're below a Bollinger Band and the market's oversold. That's when it's time to be cautious and look for a turn.
Here's your bonus round question. What is the Oscar statue made of? Solid gold or solid bronze?
What is
solid bronze? Dipped in
bronze
gold.
Its own metal? We don't trade bronze.
We could. You know, you get a bronze medal in the Olympics, right? But I'm pretty sure, actually, I might know that. I think it is bronze dipped in gold. And I believe they're made in the great state of Illinois, if I remember.
True.
So, you know, this was a trick question. Technically, they're both right.
Well, the trick is the word was solid, not dipped. You both are correct, though. It's solid bronze, and you can be our golden guys.